Tropical moisture off the Atlantic fueling flooding in the southeast this morning. Several flash flood warnings. As you wake up, the rain is going to stick around for your morning commute. Lynette.
And calendar-wise,
it's been chilly in the west. And by the way, you don't want to, use your glutes, use your core when you're shoveling. Try to get into some of those bigger back muscles. That'll help you out and not kind of wreck you when you're out there shoveling. This is our upper level low, cold air, instability. That's what's helping prompt the snow. But you know what else it's helping? It is helping produce not only rain, but thunderstorms ahead of it. We do have this flow with our southerly jet. We have the northerly jet. That's where this is. And by the way, the reason this doesn't really go anywhere, it gets cut off from the flow and it just sits there and kind of hangs around for a few days. That's why we continue to see day after day after day of snow and rain on the warm sector here on the front side of it. Coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, you have that moisture. It is making its way into the southern plains in areas that just got really hard hit. So there is your northern branch, and this gets basically cut off from the whole flow, so it sits there. There's your southern branch, not only bringing in some strong winds, which give us extra lift, but it's also bringing in some moisture. So we've got a juiced up, soupy atmosphere, and there's your potential for thunderstorms today into the Big Bend of Texas. Tomorrow spreads a little bit east and is not as intense, but we still have it. Dew point temperatures are going to be increasing. What does that mean? More moisture is coming in. More warm, buoyant air is coming in. Look at this system. I mean, we got snow on the backside and you've got that rain on the front side. Let it develop into thunderstorms as we get some of that daytime heating to help enhance some of that lift. Showers and thunderstorms, and they really pop off and continue into the overnight hours for us. Friday, everything moves here along 20 right into Dallas for the Friday evening commute. Ugh, and kind of like lingers around for us here. It's pretty rough. So there's a potential for flooding through Saturday morning into the southern plains, 3 to 5 inches on already saturated grounds, but we need it. The drought monitor, by the way, coming out in about an hour or so. So we'll see how that has changed in the last week. Look at Oklahoma City this month, 5.68 inches. We average 1.68, and Lynette, we are going to be adding to that total the next couple of days.
Wow, that's a good graphic.
I mean, it's always nice when you get that first snow. Not nice when you're trying to travel or it just doesn't go away and you're freezing the whole time, Not looking forward to that. So I'm definitely not, a winter girly. I'm more of a summer girly, though as I'm getting older, I'm more of like a fall and a spring girly because summer's just getting so hot, right? If you are headed to the airport, we will see the threat for some delays in Charleston with all that very heavy rain that we're seeing. Dallas will get it later in the day with the storms that are coming in. Then, of course, that snow that'll be moving northbound into Denver as our system's just cut off from the whole flow. So it just sits there and cranks out the snow and the moisture. That's where the system is located. And notice that that's part of our northern branch of the jet stream gets cut off. There's our southern branch that is zipping across the country. No turbulence reports right now, but I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some a little bit later today, especially trying to get in and out of the Savannah, Charleston area. Getting in and out will be on the bumpy side. So the flight attendant or pilot might say you're going to have to remain seated for a while until we get out of this turbulence. Valdosta, we're finally getting better. We had a very turbulent weather earlier this morning. That heavy rain is still coming in to like Statesboro, Georgia, the university there. 11, 12 inches in Jordan, 14 inches as we go up towards Orangeburg, South Carolina.
That's ridiculous. Now, where we need the rain, we're not getting it. We've got the big wind.
It is pouring out there. We are talking about places in the last 24 hours, or even just since this morning, getting triple their monthly total. The numbers are double digits. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. We've got a flood watch, and that just means conditions are favorable for the development of flooding from Florida to Georgia on into South Carolina. There's a boundary here. This is essentially a stretched out low, and that is what's giving us lift in the atmosphere. It is also ganging up with this moisture, and it is pouring out. I mean, these rainfall rates are ridiculous, going right over. It's not moving. So you're getting rain right over the same areas over and over again. So from Georgia to South Carolina, this has been the main batch of rain that we've been contending with. Up towards Orangeburg, also getting hammered. That's kind of south of Columbia where that other flash flood warning is. And wait till you see some of the totals. Valdosta hit hard overnight. We still have a few of those showers lingering, but we had a flash flood emergency. That's the highest warning that you can get earlier, and that has now been downgraded to a flash flood warning. But we've had cars flooded, we have had roads flooded, we've had homes flooded, and look at the numbers. There's that Orangeburg, 14.8. You know, from around this area, we typically get about 2 3/4 inches of rain for a month. Let me simplify that. We usually get about 3 inches of rain in a month, okay? And we're talking about 14, almost 15 in 24 hours. So that's 4 to 5 times what you get for an entire month in 24 hours. Nothing can handle that. Now, Orangeburg is getting a break, thankfully. But points south of there are still getting hammered along 95. It is wet, and it is going to stay wet because this boundary doesn't really move. So notice as we go through noon, there's still showers here. Charleston, you're getting rain, not super heavy rain, but you're getting it. So things could be slow around Charleston, and as we go into our Friday, things get a little bit better. So this is good. We will see much better weather here as we head into Friday afternoon. There's a look through tomorrow. We have the threat for flooding, and the thing is we need this rain, but not this much, this fast, because it's dry. We're below average here. Look at that drought monitor. And by the way, Jordan, it's not just in the southeast. We are seeing drought across the entire country.
We all need a change in the pattern, that's for sure. Well, we're kind of getting
this. Is you want a piece of energy to come in to bring rain or snow, but a lot of times it comes with wind, like the one we're seeing here into the Four Corners. This is the upper level low associated with our big system that's going to bring all the rain and the snow, but it's also going to bring gusts, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, some gusty conditions. It gets cut off from the flow, so it hangs out for a couple days, finally moves east as we head into our Sunday. By the way, that is going to bring some clouds and rain down into the southeast. I know the ball of energy is north, but this is just what's happening in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. At the surface, you do have that energy all the way down into the southeast. And then we're just on a train of storms. We have another one and then another one that's going to be entering the picture and so forth. So this is from our system that we're dealing with right now, causing the snow and the rain. That pushes east, so it's the Mississippi River Valley where we will see that threat for flooding as we go through our Saturday and even into our Sunday morning. That shifts a little bit and is not as intense for our Sunday and Monday. So this is the tail end of that system that I was showing you, the ball of energy going north. This is the southern part of it. It's clouds and showers for our Saturday, moving into our Sunday, and bad timing, right? You want to get outside, maybe take a hike, because the temperatures have been so warm here. It hasn't even felt like we're getting into fall. You know, the winter solstice is about a month and a half away. So it's only a matter of time before this is looking more pink and blue on the map for some ice and some freezing rain and some snow. But right now it's 1 to 2 inches of rain. Jackson, Mississippi, notice our temperatures, upper 70s, lower 80s for our highs. And then on the northern side of this, where we're getting that ball of energy, it's again going to be rain. It's just not been cold enough. We saw record-setting temperatures. It was day after day after day. We are still feeling that warmth and that rain that's coming through for us. You can see the snow is well north of here into Canada. Overall, the rain will be on the light side. We could use it, though. Things have been very, very dry. In Baltimore, we have had 35 days without any measurable rain. Consecutive days, I should say. We're going to break that on Sunday for sure. Lynette.
For breaking that on Sunday.
Pretty wild, and it's all compliments of this. This is our upper level energy. It gets cut off from the overall flow and just lingers in this area. Now ahead of it, it's going to help prompt thunderstorms and some rainfall, some heavy rain at that on areas that just saw it and don't need any more. So there's your moisture within your warm sector flowing northbound. And this is the warm, where you see this red line. This is the leading edge of the warm air. Anything south of that is the warm sector. There's your front. Anything behind that, your cold front, is cold air. And obviously we've got that. And by the way, with the exception of the Four Corners, we are warm and we stay warm through next week. There's just no cold air in sight for us. So this is the northern branch of the jet. That's the trough that gets kind of cut off. And then you see the southern branch also bringing energizing winds into the picture. That gives us more lift in the atmosphere. And then, of course, at the surface, you've got all of that moisture and humidity. So we have the threat for some thunderstorms today. Tomorrow shifts a little east, not as intense, which is good. But see these dew points right here? They're going to keep increasing as we go through the day and bring more moisture northbound. Right now, you see there's a little bit of moisture in the vicinity, but we'll get a lot more as we go through the day. And then you'll see the explosion of thunderstorms quite typically in the afternoon. But these last into overnight because it's not just all about the sunshine. Remember, when do those winds punch in? When do you get all of the elements to come together? This is midnight. It is still rocking and rolling out there and cranking when it comes to the thunderstorms. And look at that, into our Friday evening and around the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, which is just huge. They call it the Metroplex. It's just the super vast area. It shifts into our Saturday morning towards Louisiana. So through our Saturday morning, we have that threat for flooding because we've seen so much rain over these exact same areas just this weekend into the beginning of next week. And the drought monitor, okay, we're a little bit better. We don't have extreme drought here in Texas, but we still have severe drought in Texas. Oklahoma City, no rain. Was it no rain at all, Jillian, in the month of October? Totally shut out? Is that my memory correct on that? Yes, no rain for the month of October. And look what we've had so far in November. 5.68, Lynette, our average for the whole month, 1.68.
Wow, that's astounding. All right, Steph, thanks for that.
Here again. But you're lucky if you do get to travel, right? So we'll stay in gratitude for that and gratitude for the slopes that are opening or already open because of all the snow that's coming down. And we could have some issues in the southeast with that bundle of rain that we've been talking about around Charleston. Maybe getting in and out. It could be a little bit bumpy. Obviously, Dallas, a little bit later in the day is when the rain comes in. So we'll see some delays potentially. And then Denver, we will see that snow coming in. So what if you are taking a flight? Do we have any sort of issues right now? Well, we're not seeing too many reports of turbulence, but we've got the southern jet, and the northern branch that this low cuts off from and just sits there. So that's going to cause some turbulence if you're flying across that. And of course, you see the planes hopping in the jet stream as they head east because you save fuel because it just, propels you forward. In and out of the Savannah-Charleston area, it's going to be stormy and down towards Valdosta, southern Georgia. We also have some of those flash flood warnings. Driving on 95 will be full speed ahead, Jordan, with the windshield wipers.
All right, let's go west now and take a look at this rapidly growing mountain fire. That's what it's called. It's forcing evacuation from the schools.
That it is. It's been very dry. We just got our updated drought monitor. It's still bad across the entire country. So we need all the rain, all the snow that we can get. And this thing is going to be delivering it from New Mexico to Colorado into the plains and then eventually into the southeast and the Midwest as well. It gets cut off from the overall flow. It eventually gets pushed along here into the Midwest, but will trail all the way down into the southeast. And then we stay in an active pattern for our Sunday, even as we head into Monday of next week. So let's start in the south. The southern half of this is giving us the threat for flooding along the Mississippi River Valley for our Saturday into our Sunday. That's where we'll see the flood threat. Into Sunday, Monday, it shifts east and it's not as intense with the rainfall, so the flooding potential is not as heavy. There it is for you as we head into our Friday evening, Saturday morning. Moisture getting pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico, giving us clouds and showers here along the lower Mississippi River Valley. And then it's all going to be pushing east very slowly as we go throughout the weekend, Sunday, and even lingering into our Monday morning with some clouds and showers. But notice we're talking 1 to 2, maybe 2 to 3 inches, locally heavy, but not this widespread, 5 to 8 inches like we're seeing today. Jackson, Mississippi, notice those temperatures too. We stay above average across the board for us here. Once this upper level low gets out of the four corners, we warm up there too. So there comes your rain into our Saturday and Sunday forecast. As Jordan was mentioning, we need it into the northeast. We will get it here Sunday evening and it will stick around for that Monday morning commute, but it will be on the light side. So we don't have to worry about too many issues here across the board. Lynette, Baltimore, we have had 30